Right, let's do this, shall we? A Sheffield filmmaker is looking for locations to shoot scenes for a new sci-fi action movie he's making in the city. Theo Cane, who's from Hackenthorpe, started filming Unit 11 6 months ago. He's now looking for a warehouse a science lab or a factory to do a one-day shoot. Here's a clip of Theo's last film, which was shot in Sheffield. It's called Plague World.
Got a dead body to clean up. Neighbour says it was a gang of about 6 lads with red masks on.
Oh, my word, Theo Cane is in the studio now. Good morning, Theo.
Good morning, Toby.
So tell us about your film, Unit 11. What's it about?
Without giving too much away, because I never like to give too much away or talk about things too much until they're out. But yeah, it's I shot it a lot. I shot it further back than 6 months ago. I've been doing filmmaking since school, and the film you've just played, I made that when I was like 17, 18, and I'm 25. I was 25 on Friday, so yeah. It's quite a long time ago now. But yeah, the film that I'm doing now, and it's kind of a reshoot of the one that you just played. Do you know what I mean? Like it takes place like within a very similar world and stuff. It takes place in the UK in 2035, when, due to several reasons like civil conflict and a rising crime and stuff, very comic book. The UK has been evacuated and it's become like a third world country. So that's where it's set, but that hasn't even really got anything to do with the movie. That just kind of is the setting. And then within that there's several different stories that all end up linking together. Films like Snatch, Pulp Fiction, Sin City, where it's not so much one straight storyline, it's several small storylines, and eventually by the end of the film they will have all tied into one. So that's what we're doing.
So how did you get into filmmaking?
So I just love films. I always have loved films.
Yeah.
From school. I said before I even left school I was messing about with cameras, and I did a lot of special effects. I worked in special effects for a couple of years, but I just got more love for the directing side of things. Used to shoot little films with big effects in, just to like show off them, rather than do show reels and stuff. I ended up working for lots of like independent film companies doing special effects, and I'd always be working on them, and sometimes they'd be taking ages to set shots up and taking hours and hours, and I'm thinking, wait, when I'm filming I can just get through it quick. So yeah, I never went to film school. I never went to university or nothing like that. I just had a love for researched all my idols in filmmaking, read all their books, and just went from there. I'm at a point now where I'm a teacher. Like I teach film. I've taught at university. I teach at a college in Sheffield every week. So it's done me well. And
how easy is it to make films these days? Because, to be honest, you can get a broadcast quality camera for 500-600 quid, can't you?
Yeah, that's well. I mean, when I first started, the broadcast quality cameras, they were still like $5,500 to buy. So I was having to borrow one, and then obviously the equipment to edit it and export it. It's like you can spend all day working hard filming until you can't even stand up anymore, but and then you get home and you try and get it on computer and it's fuzzy or it's not working and loads of messing about. So yeah, when I was younger, when I was making the film that we just played then, it were very, very hard. Now it's only a bit easier now because we have access to our own cameras, and obviously everyone who I'm working with works now, who was like 19, who was in college and stuff. So yeah, that's the only thing that makes it easy. I mean, the hardest thing with a film is just having a good dedicated team, and I'm lucky enough that the people that I work with, the people that I've always worked with, and I don't just see them through filming. We go to the gym together, we do everything together. So it's like it's a good team I've got behind me. So I would not be able to do it if it weren't for the people that we rely on. I mean, without a doubt. By saying it's hard to make a film, but it's even harder if your actors are not reliable, if your people that you're getting locations off aren't reliable. It is hard, but people make it easier by not messing about.
And how easy is it to get people to see your films?
I think that I've basically not been doing films for like the last 2 years. I've run a successful grime and hip hop label that we took around the UK, and I've also been part of Don't Flop Rap Battles, which is like a massive rap battle league that we take all around the UK and the world now. So basically, I think because I've worked in music, it's when like to give someone an album and say, listen to my album, or like getting people to pay attention to your music. That is a lot harder than if I said, here's a film I've made, because I think that people will only listen to your music if they're into that kind of music or if they know you. But if it's a movie, they'll be like, oh, such and such has made a movie. That people just want to see it, especially if they know it was filmed in your area or they know that it was done independently. I think people show a lot more attention when you're doing visual stuff and movies and that kind of thing, because it don't really matter what you're into. Most people enjoy film.
So let's talk about equipment, because obviously it's expensive to get started, isn't it? I mean, how many cameras do you have to have?
Well, you want your main camera, and because I'm doing a lot of action stuff, and by action stuff I mean effects. I mean there's a lot of like guns going off, and I've got a lot of martial artists, lots of explosions and pyrotechnics and stuff. So you always want. I mean, if I'm doing like an effect where it's a one-shot effect, you know what I mean? I've got one go at it. I'll want 3 or 4 cameras if I can. Sometimes I might only have 2, and you just got to work with what you've got. But yeah, no, you want your main camera for talk scenes, dialogue scenes, like all your standard stuff. Then one camera you'll get away with if you're working quick like I do. But yeah, no, for some stuff like you might, if it's just let's say that you were doing this. Let's say you were doing a shot where you were having to blow a car up, and you'd got all your set up and everything were ready, but you can only blow the car at once, so you might want 6 cameras on it, so you got boom, 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 boom from every angle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you want as many cameras as you can, really, for some stuff.
Tell us what we're looking for now. Then you're looking for places to shoot.
Yeah, places to shoot. That's one of the main things that I'm after. Like, basically, I've always gone into Sheffield Forum to get my locations, and I've had locations where we've filmed in a bar. I had one guy that got in touch with me on Sheffield Forum, and he had a massive factory full of rooms and everything, and they were like, oh, wicked, we're all ready to shoot, and then he just let me down. So yeah, things like that can knock you for 6, even though everyone's ready, and then like your location can flop. But yeah, anything that's like that could look like a science lab, a research base, a factory, a warehouse, and anything that you'd. I'm very good at using imagination, and basically because of the time that the film's set in, it's set in the future. It's set in 2035, when there's no police, there's no government, there's very little people left in the UK. It's like an evacuated no man's land. So anywhere that you could think of that looks good, you might have a cool corridor, you might have a staircase, you might have a derelict building, you might have an old farmland and it's got some rusty tractors on it, or you might have anything. Do you know what I mean? You might have an helicopter that's abandoned in your farmland. Anything that would look cool. I'm very good at using my imagination, and the script is worked around it. You could get in touch with me and say you had anything, and I will work it somewhere into the script.
Well, there you go. You can get in touch with us if you want to help Theo out. He's looking for locations to shoot round and about the place. Theo, thanks very much indeed for coming in this morning.
Not at all.
Much appreciated. That's Theo Cane there, filmmaker from Acklenthorpe. If you've got somewhere for him to shoot, get in touch with us.